paints, tools for plumbing and heating, and automotive supplies. Over 55,000 warehouse products available. You'll find Lil Shavers on Facebook and online at lilshavers.com. That's LILshavers.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Well, welcome. Hey, Margi. Happy Tuesday. I'm going to turn this way so I can see you. How are you?
Well, I've got vertigo again.
Oh, no.
So I'm a dizzy old broad.
Well, nothing new. Another day in paradise with Margi. I understand somebody had a birthday this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's why I got vertigo.
The world goes round and round, Margi, and you still have birthdays. That's something to celebrate. I hope that you were well loved and celebrated.
I did. My son came over Friday. You know, my daughter-in-law's birthday is the same day.
Oh, wow.
And, well, the first day I met her, picked them up at the airport, and we came back to the house, and I said, we're going to the yacht club for dinners, but we'll have a glass of wine here, and da-da-da. I opened a bottle of red wine. She said, that's my favorite wine. How did you know? I said, well, it's mine. So then I made a baked brie, and she said, I love baked brie. It's my favorite hors d'oeuvre. And I laughed, and I said, when's your birthday? And she said, May 25th. And I went, so's mine.
Oh, that's wild.
And I said to my son, what does it feel like to be dating your mother? But this, I said to her, if you ever have earned a birthday on your own, it's this year.
Aw.
Because she's been so busy making sure that mine was celebrated properly.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That is so sweet.
But that's just her personality. So she had her time. And my neighbors had a beautiful dinner for me down at the pool, and we just had a very nice time.
You were well celebrated.
I was.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Any other plans that you did this weekend?
No, because I really got hit hard Sunday and really stayed in bed most of the day, off and on. Yeah. I'm going to go to my chiropractor tomorrow.
Had a girl.
And try to figure out, you know, they say it comes from the inner ear, but the physical therapist I've been going to said it's coming from my neck.
Oh, wow.
And my eyes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So maybe he can do a little acupuncture on my neck, and
that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
I think that's just what the doctor ordered.
Well, and we had somebody call in the last time I had a attack of vertigo. I wish she'd call in again and tell me what cured hers.
And so listeners, if you're listening, you can always call the studio at 844-STUDIO-4 and give my friend Margi some advice on how to be less vertigoed or dizzy.
But Friday, Al's Bar and Grill.
Nice.
Had a golf tournament, and Little Smiles was the recipient.
Lovely.
So I went with Sharon and Woody Washam, and we accepted the check, and we stayed and had dinner there, and just...
Where did they play?
Westport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. You know, that's a great little local place to go.
It is.
You know, when we want to grab a burger or have a quick salad or something, we were there. I think we were there maybe Saturday night. And we were surprised there weren't that many, but that was also the night of the race. And, you know,
they'd all been there Friday night.
Yeah, people were all barbecuing, and, you know, the weather got weird.
Their wings are outstanding.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And it's fast, it's inexpensive, you get great service there.
Yeah, you do.
It's a great place. And
I had their shrimp scampi, and it was delightful.
Well, I am glad that they did a little non-for-profit work in our community.
Yes, they
did.
did.
Happen.
Yeah,
so
they did.
Shout out to them for doing some good.
And Sharon and Woody had the fried fish. It was like this big.
Wow.
Fish and chips.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen a bigger piece of
fish.
fish.
And it's delightful.
Yeah.
I've had it there. It's really good.
Oh.
I love that they did a golf tournament for you and raised a little bit of money and awareness. Awareness always helps too. To have that. So happy birthday, Margi. We're glad you're with us, and we get another trip around the sun with you.
A dizzy one.
Yeah. Well, you know, I wanted to make mention and give a special shout out to Mrs. Kazepis, who is the station manager, Justin's wife, Demi, she won at Lake Norman Charter Teacher of the Year.
Oh, how beautiful.
But you have to know Demi to appreciate this story. So she said she was sitting in the auditorium on the day that all of this was going on, and she said there's 6 other kindergarten teachers, there's 4 first grade, whatever there are. So there were a lot of people. That was her competition. And she said they started to describe the person who was going to win this Teacher of the Year. And she said, she sounds like a lovely person. I would love to be her friend. And sure enough, when they announced her name, she was really surprised. But congratulations to Mrs.
Oh, I think
Kazepis.
that's
She's
beautiful.
if you know her, she is a bubbly, lively, delightful person, and I can't think of anyone more deserving than her to receive such a wonderful award. And she's not only Teacher of the Year, she's Mother of the Year also, because she manages a lot. And I know we have a busy station manager and busy children and a busy life, so congratulations to her.
I think that's wonderful.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think our teachers need to be recognized.
Yes.
Every one of them for the hard work that they do. I mean, we know what's happening to our education system, so the fact that they're still hanging in there.
Yes.
And still doing what they do to help our children get a good education, it's commendable. Commendable career.
And it's not getting any easier either.
No, you don't hear of too many people saying they want to go to college to become a teacher.
I know.
And the other one that I think is being impacted is nurses. You don't hear a whole lot of people saying they want to be a nurse or go into that field. So, I think that those are the fields that were been directly impacted by COVID, right? So we give a shout out to our healthcare workers as well, because that can't be easy either.
I can't imagine.
Me either.
And fire department, police officers. I mean,
all of them.
Yeah.
All of those hardworking people. And,
and Memorial Day was such a beautiful day, just in memory of everybody.
Absolutely. We've done a lot of things with F3, which is a men's organization. I think they stand for Faith, Fellowship, and Fitness. I could be wrong, but I know that they get together. A lot of them are veterans, and I know that they did something in Cornelius at the War Memorial. I saw a picture online of them all on bended knee in front of the flags, and it was particularly moving because you don't often see that anymore, and just the respect that they have for their fellow human beings. I mean, they're great helpers and great volunteers at Hope House, and I know throughout the community with other folks. And it was particularly moving for me to see them doing that, because in the past, we had a female veteran at Hope House, and they made a shovel flag for her.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yeah. And
my son put in a ring for me so that I could see who's at the door.
Nice.
And I've noticed that on Facebook, there are all sorts of videos of people who had a broken flagpole where people would pick up the flag and fold it and try to fix it. Yeah. And I thought, wow.
It's a lovely thing to respect our flag and to understand the meaning behind it and what it means. So, and this shovel flag, it's literally a shovel with a flag on the end of it. They had engraved and carved in at the Hope House Foundation, and it waves pretty proudly out there. And it's just a reminder.
Yes.
It serves as a reminder that this is a wonderful country we live in, and we're grateful for the service of our fellow men and women out there that are fighting the front lines for us, for sure. So
I was hoping to have Maureen Smith here today.
Okay.
But she's not here as of yet.
And
we would love call-ins. We're going to take a quick break in a minute. So if you have a question for either Debbie or for me, please feel free. Pick up the phone and call in.
Maybe we have the ghost of Maureen. Maybe she's going to come whipping in here any minute now. But if not, I don't think you and I will have a lack of words.
I don't think so either. So. We never have.
But I'm a little bit scared what might come out of our mouth. So we'll see. We'll be back.
More informative discussion about people and groups doing good in our community coming up. It's Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on WSIC.
Well, after a hot and humid and a bit stormy Memorial Day weekend, the weather is a bit more tame for the next several days, and you'll notice the comfort level going up too. Humidity crashing as we go throughout our Tuesday. Our sunshine is back. Still, high temperatures are warm. We're into the mid-80s for this afternoon. Overnight, mostly clear. Temperatures fall down to around 60. Outlying spots and farms may even see upper 50s, but low 80s on the way and low humidity for Wednesday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Serenity Now Massage Therapy.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Alabama's Austin Bohannon plays a local concert tour beginning Thursday with Langtree Live in Mooresville on May 30th. Event time is 6:30 p.m. with the concert powered by Waves Entertainment beginning at 7. Bohannon then plays Friday on the Burkdale Village stage with the Live Under the Oaks concert series. Back-to-back free music beginning on Thursday at Langtree in Mooresville and then Friday at Burkdale Village in Huntersville. Blankets and chairs are welcome for both Austin Bohannon shows. The Kane Center for the Arts welcomes Philip Hamrick on Friday for his album release celebration. The singer-songwriter from Mooresville releases his first solo album as an independent artist with The Tunnel Club. Hamrick's personal stories are delivered through vocals and acoustics. Doors open at 7 p.m. with Hamrick's The Tunnel Club album release celebration at 8 p.m. on Friday. For tickets, more information on this show and many other programs, visit kanearts.org. That's CAINarts.org. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks has expanded to Broad Street and Main Street, and this Saturday serves up gourmet fare. Bring chairs, bring friends, and delight in over 15 food trucks from around the area. Listen to live music from Billy Jones in the Pocket, stroll the streets, and shop. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks begins at 5 p.m. on Saturday. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series is back at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The first practice night is on Tuesday, June 4th, with the 10-week series opening night race on June 10th. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Call 844-STUDIO-4 now to join the community-centered discussion with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
So, welcome back to the Wing It Show, because that's what we're doing today. We are winging it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never had the pleasure of getting to know Miss Margi like I have, we're going to learn some things about her, maybe some fun facts. So, Margi, tell me, I know that your story starts and ends with a bit of a tragic situation that led you into taking your passion and turning it into something really purposeful. But it started painfully, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
So tell us about that.
Very painfully. My 16th birthday, my father came into my room and he had told me at the beginning of the week to cancel church because I was not going to be going to church that Sunday because it was my 16th birthday. And he came in very early with a cup of black coffee. And I went, ooh. And he said, I have a job for you. So I want you to get up and don't put anything fancy on because we have some work to do.
Okay.
Long story short, on that end, he had bought me a new car.
Aw.
And he had taken 3 tires off and left one on. And he said, if you can get that one tire off and put the other 3 back on, the car is yours.
Wow. Okay.
So all my friends are driving by going, oh, when can we go for a ride? And Dad kept saying, not today, not today. And I'm thinking, is this a gift? Anyway, very long story short, I finally got the last tire back on. And I said, let's go for a drive. And Dad said, not so fast. It's stick shift, which I had never driven. So I went all around the neighborhood, made it to school the next day, and called my father and said, I made it, but you're going to have to come pick me up because I can't come home. And he said, if you made it, you can come home. Take the back roads and da-da-da-da. Leading into my history with cars, I've been in 5 major car accidents. But when I was 16, I was in 3 major car accidents. One, I was totally unconscious, woke up with the minister at my bed, and I thought I had died and gone to heaven.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was told I'd never walk again. And so I had a lot of time thinking as a child, 16, realizing I'm missing school. I'm missing my friends. I had my own phone line and phone in the yellow pages, a Bible, and in my phone. And I started looking in the yellow pages under doctors, and I came across a chiropractor. And I started reading. And then I went in my dictionary, looked it up there, and I found a chiropractor in the town where I lived, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. And I told him my story. And he said, "How old are you?" I said, 16. He said, "How did you think to call me?" And I said, "Well, who else am I going to call?"
Sure.
So I said, "Before you do anything, I want to call my doctor." He said, "Well, that's going to take a day." I said, "Oh, no, I have his direct line." I didn't mess around then either. And so I called Dr. Simpson and I said, I couldn't even say chiropractor, let alone spell it.
Sure.
And he looked at me and said, "I can't do anything more for you. This is brilliant. Absolutely have him come over and see what he can do." So he came over that night with his bed and left it in my room, talked to my parents, and they both said, "If you can do anything." And Mother said, "Well, we need to check with the doctor." And I said, "Oh, I talked to him. He said, fine."
Wow.
So my goal was to be up walking by June or July, I think it was. I was walking by June.
Phenomenal, Margie.
This man got me up and walking. And fast forward many years, my son, I sent him to camp to grow up. And the first day of camp, they told him to go run and dive into the lake. He hit bottom because he's very tall, and he broke his neck.
Good God.
And he was paralyzed. And I'll never forget, I crawled under his bed because he was on a striker board upside down. And the tears were splashing on my face. He said, "Mom, they told me I'll never walk again. They told you that too." And I said, "We've got some work to do. But for now, you cry all you want. By tomorrow, we need to get to work." He said, "Well, call that doctor you." And I said, "A chiropractor's not going to touch you. You're screwed to the wall." So I did some research, and I called somebody who specialized in Reiki and somebody who specialized in reflexology. And they worked on him every night until he said, "Oh, Mom, I can feel this." So I know what it's like to be a child in the hospital alone. And I know what it's like to have a child in the hospital.
You see it from both sides.
And both are terrible. And so when Little Smiles, my stepson, Scott Anderson from Florida, said, "Margie, you've got to do this," my husband said, "You don't have time."
No.
I said, "Neither do those kids.
Right.
I will find time." And nothing gives me greater joy than going to visit a child who's been in a serious accident or whatever and talking to them. And I had a little gal who is a foreign exchange student here who got here, was in a car accident, was in a wheelchair, and they couldn't figure out why because there was no reason for her to be not walking. And I was talking to her dad, and I said, "Look at her feet. She's moving her feet. She will walk again. Her brain hasn't told her feet that they can move. You get her to a chiropractor as soon as you can." And she flew home to Germany the next day, sent me a video of her getting out of her wheelchair and walking.
Incredible.
So, those are the things that keep you going. That's your payment. That's your payment.
I think about the determination you must have had in changing those 4 tires because I don't know if I could change one, let alone 4. But that just showed, I think it was very telling about your personality and your will, right? And your drive. And you've taken that and turned it into a very successful non-for-profit that does that impacts our community in such a tremendous way of meeting children and families exactly where they're at in a very bad situation.
That's right. Yeah.
In the hospital. And here comes Margi with your sparkling personality. If anybody knows or has ever seen Margi there, they know that she is bejeweled from the crown of her head to her toes. But there's something very telling about that. That is just sort of your signature style. But if I were a child and in the hospital and I saw you walk in, I would be like, who's this fairy godmother that is floating in here all bejeweled and with a gift or with a toy or with something.
With whatever the nurses feel, we'll put a smile on that child's face.
To make me feel better. I think it's just the compassion and the dedication and the wherewithal to be able to pull that all together is just so commendable. And what I love about your organization is that the community gets involved and the community brings that joy alongside of it with you. And you have a great board filled with really lovely people who kind of work and breathe the same mission that you do.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so commendable to find like-minded people that are just, hey, and they're so humble. There's like, oh yeah, we just dropped some gifts off. No, you didn't. You changed somebody's life in a big way. In a big way. And when you hear your story and then to have that happen to your son on top of it, my goodness, the drive. I mean, I think of my own determination, but I think if anything happened to one of my children, I'd be out of my mind.
Well, you do.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
I slept there every night for a year.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
And Alex would say, oh, Mom, you can go home. This nurse is wonderful. And I'd say, no. No.
Not leaving your side.
No.
Yeah.
Because I was all alone.
Yeah.
And, my mother didn't, she would come down periodically when she had to. My father, when he was in town, would come. But basically, I was there, again, staring at the ceiling. And I think as a designer, that's why I pride myself in really specializing in doing the ceiling, the fifth wall. Let's have something pretty to look at.
Absolutely. I know my brother spent a lot of time at Duke Hospital, and my mother would say, if I could only wallpaper these walls,
I know,
change the bedding, or, you sit there with these empty hours.
Well, and one of the things that we've just started doing for our kids, the ones that are going to be there for a while, is we do their room.
Oh, that's awesome.
Give them, bedspreads and things, themes, pictures, posters, whatever it takes.
That's their
for
space.
Them have something they love to look at.
Oh wow, that is so phenomenal. Because if any of our listeners have spent any time in a hospital, that counting those little dots on the ceiling panels is not.
And I hate to say, but I'm old enough that TV wasn't an option then because they didn't have them in every room.
Right. I mean, think about that. And I know I was thinking of you when you said, and I had my telephone and my yellow pages. I'm thinking, how many listeners even know what the yellow pages or your telephone that was plugged into a wall that you had to press buttons or use the rotary dial? Well, Margi, I love your story. I love your mission. I love Little Smiles. It's big smiles is what it is. It's not little smiles.
And so now it's going to be my turn to interview you.
Well, fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, because like I said, you never know what's going to come out of either one of our mouths. But, we are super, super blessed to have this opportunity to have community centered.
I just hope Maureen is okay.
Yes.
And Birkdale's fine.
Let's just hope that is the case, that Birkdale is fine and that our good friend Maureen Smith will be around to tell us what the heck happened and where she is. But otherwise, we are the Wing It Community Centered show today, and pulling out all the stops here for each other. And if you have something that you would like to ask Margi or myself, 844-STUDIO-4 would be a great number to call. I know Bill is at the helm here, ready to take your call at any moment. And we come back, Margi will be interviewing.
I can't wait.
Let's see how we make hope happen then.
There's more Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on the way from 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, a beautiful week of weather continues around Lake Norman and a chance to enjoy some lower humidity, too, before it's really here permanently over the summer. For the rest of the evening, a mostly clear sky will dip down into the upper 50s overnight. Outlying spots and farms may even see mid-50s by the time you're waking up on Wednesday morning. Beautiful day of weather, slightly cooler. That lower humidity is still here, and sunshine for our Wednesday. High temperatures in the low 80s for the afternoon. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
If you're ready for a rewarding career, the team at Horn Heating and Air Conditioning is hiring. Great pay, great benefits, and a great team atmosphere. Experience the feeling of HornHVAC.com.
What if you could wake up pain-free so you can leave the stress behind and conquer your day? Serenity Now Massage Therapy. 2 locations in Mooresville and Cornelius. Or book your next massage at SerenityNowMassageAndWellness.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TURN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Despite rising inflation, a lot of Americans are feeling more confident. Consumer confidence unexpectedly rose in May. That was the first increase in 4 months, the biggest increase since last July. That's on easing worries about the labor market and business conditions. A bit of a rebound in Apple iPhone sales in China last month. Shipments soared 52% higher, but that was mostly thanks to discounts from retailers trying to boost up sales. Shares of Apple right now pretty much flat, while elsewhere on Wall Street, stocks are mostly lower and heading lower as we head toward the close to kick off the new week. Right now, the Dow is down almost 0.9%. The Nasdaq hanging on to a very small gain of about 0.1%. The S&P down by 1/3. And just over 10% of Americans with federal student loan debt have gotten some kind of relief from the Biden White House. And a new report from the New York Federal Reserve shows more Americans say they expect even more federal student debt forgiveness this year. So hang in there. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Now, more community-centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. It's Margi Kyle here with Debbie O'Hanley. And we're just hoping that Maureen Smith from Birkdale is okay. Because last I talked to her, she was going to be here. So we are missing her. But we're doing what we've kind of wanted to do for quite a while.
Wing it.
Wing it.
Wing it.
And I want to say, Debbie, before we talk about Hope House, you are the creator and inventor of a new disease.
Sick of this.
Sick of this. We're sick of this and we're sick of that.
That's right. That's right. We sure are. I think the cure for that though is sunshine and fellowship and just trying to have a positive outlook. So that's
And
how you cure it.
doing what we're doing right now.
That's right. Winging it.
That's right. Now, you are executive director for Hope House.
Mm-hmm.
What led you to that direction?
Jesus. No.
Okay.
Just kidding. So, my husband and I had just moved to the area, and prior to that, we were living in the Berkshires in Massachusetts, and I was the executive director of a federally funded program that was working with families in crisis and who were experiencing poverty. But the claim to fame there was that we had one of the highest teenage pregnancy rates in the nation.
Okay.
So got to work with, a younger population and, help connect them to supportive services, et cetera. So when we moved here, I said, I have this great idea that I can reinvent myself. I don't have to live and operate in that world. And my husband said, sure, take your time, do what you need to do. He had just taken on a new job with Vera Bradley. He was one of only 7 men that was working for the company at the time, and I think there were 800 employees. So he was a trailblazer here in the Charlotte area. And if you know my husband, he's 6'5".
Yes.
And he would put out his arms and he'd say, "World biggest showroom," and hang all these pocketbooks off of his arms. So
oh my gosh,
cute. We enjoyed that. But anyway, so I started to volunteer. I was at Habitat. I volunteered at Caterpillar Ministries. I did some, group therapy work for them, and I started to volunteer at the Hope House. My daughter was the one who was doing some research, and she said, "Mom, do you know that there's a place called the Hope House, and it's in Huntersville?" And I said, "You got to be kidding me," because at the time I was writing a book.
Okay.
And the book was filled with very hopeful things, and the audience that I was writing the book for was one, just myself. And so I never really intended to do anything with it, but it was sort of a memoir of, working with families in crisis and some of the good stuff that was happening, or the good things that I would see as a result of working with them. So I went over to the Hope House and I volunteered. And at the time, volunteers were serving a 3-hour shift at the house. So 9 to noon to 3, whatever. And I always wanted the Friday night shift. And I chose to come the 9 to midnight because I would bring a movie and turn the movie on and sit with the women. And then the next thing you know, shut the TV off and we were all engaged in a really lovely conversation that usually ended in tears or some kind of group hug or something. And I would come home well after midnight. My husband was like, I'm not worried because I know what you do. But what draws you there? And I said, the fact that these women are so incredibly resilient and brave and courageous. And I'm supposed to be the one telling them how to help, get connected to the things that they want. But they were, in fact, the great teachers for me because I'd never been homeless.
Yes.
So I didn't know what that was like. And so they began to be sort of friends and mentors to me on what that looked like. And so the longer I volunteered there, the more vocal I became with some of the folks running the place. And I was like, I think you could be doing X, Y, and Z. And they were, yeah, thanks for that, but you're just a volunteer. And then about a year later, the executive director and the program manager both left at the same time. And a board member approached me and said, "You with the mouth, if you think you can do this,
the voice,
if you think you can do this, we'd like to entertain you being the executive director, but we're not going to hire a program coordinator. You can do it, by yourself." And I said, "If you trust me, I will do that, and I can do that. I could do that most definitely." So that's been about 11 years now that I've been doing this, and I needed to get to work right away and making a lot of relationships happen in the community, and I love it. I love what I do. I do it. I'm fueled by the stories, by the narratives. When I hear what some of these women have overcome, and I think of the privilege that my life has been, I am astounded by their resiliency and their ability to overcome.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Now, did you ever finish your book?
No, I go back to it every now and
I
then.
do too. Mine.
I tell a lot of stories in my book, and I do a lot of repeat of stories. I had a brother who passed away from leukemia, and while I was on that journey with him, I learned and grew so much. And the name of the book is called Empty Pockets. And why it's called that is because he had a near-death experience himself, and he came back from it, and he said to me, when you stand before God, it doesn't matter what you've put in your pockets all along, or what title you've given yourself,
so beautiful,
or how much wealth you've acquired. He wants you to come with your pockets empty and be ready to begin to live.
What a smart man.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Empty Pockets is about those stories, right? About all those things that we try to stuff into our pockets every single day on who we are and what we've done and how we've accomplished it.
And nothing.
That mean absolutely nothing at the end of the day when your journey is complete. So he was a great teacher to me then too, and I feel like the women that I'm leading at Hope House are great teachers as well. I'm fascinated by their stories and their children's stories. They're incredible.
Well, the love that you witness when you go there is unbelievable.
It is a family. It really is. It's community. It's difficult when we have someone there who doesn't want to engage in that way because, we believe in the ability to empower people and to educate them and to make an impact by doing that. But when someone is resilient and doesn't want to make a transformative life change, that's a challenge.
Well, I remember just the one time I went over there and was sitting with several moms.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the moms was lucky enough to be moving into the cottage.
Oh, yeah.
And she was very upset about the color in her front door and the colors. And so I got out my color system and thought,
I remember that.
Yeah, if this is the worst thing that happens to you, you're pretty lucky.
Absolutely.
But when I showed her all the other colors that would work with it, and to watch her eyes just beam again.
That, Margie, was in the early days of me knowing you, and I never realized what an impact color had on someone in their personality, because she was so resistant to that color.
She was.
There was absolutely no way she could live in that house, which sounds completely arrogant, but it was an arrogant color. First off, it wasn't very pretty. And it really was something that bothered her.
Yeah.
And so we worked with her to change the color there and ultimately decorate that the Faith Cottage. So it was interesting to have that experience.
But just to watch her face
Yeah.
and to see the stress go for something that to me was so easy
Mm-hmm.
is incredible what you do there for those women.
It's an honor and it's a joy. And I'm holding you too, helping me with colors on the new builds, because
I'm just waiting.
As we build Journey and Courage, we've had a couple of obstacles, but we're getting to the siding went up last week, so we should be adding some color to the outside of them too. And I have a vision in my head, but I'm like, I gotta run that by Margie because I'm not sure if that's gonna work. But color makes a big impact.
It does, but you must be every night you put your head on your pillow grateful for what you've had. And grateful for the experience you've given to every woman you've touched.
It's an honor. It truly is to be able to be there. Now, my husband doesn't think so. Like when I'm there tonight, because I will have to be there till about 9:30 tonight. He'll be like, why don't you work 9 to 5? Don't you punch a time clock? You can punch out. Nope, I'm there Saturdays, Sundays, holidays. It doesn't really matter because homelessness knows no boundary.
That's right.
It doesn't have it. It doesn't punch a 9 to 5, nor does it have a particular day that it picks. So we're all in on all days.
Well, I just hope if you are out there and have a question for either one of us, Debbie or myself, that you will pick up the phone and call in, because we would love to answer some questions. This has been fun.
Try to stump Margie and Debbie with a question because, I think we're two heads. What do they say? 2 heads are better than one.
That's
right. 2 good heads.
We will be back shortly.
Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, a beautiful week of weather continues around Lake Norman and a chance to enjoy some lower humidity, too, before it's really here permanently over the summer. For the rest of the evening, a mostly clear sky will dip down into the upper 50s overnight. Outlying spots and farms may even see mid-50s by the time you're waking up on Wednesday morning. Beautiful day of weather, slightly cooler. That lower humidity is still here, and sunshine for our Wednesday. High temperatures in the low 80s for the afternoon. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Alabama's Austin Bohannon plays a local concert tour beginning Thursday with Langtree Live in Mooresville on May 30th. Event time is 6:30 p.m. with the concert powered by Waves Entertainment beginning at 7. Bohannon then plays Friday on the Burkdale Village stage with the Live Under the Oaks concert series. Back-to-back free music beginning on Thursday at Langtree in Mooresville and then Friday at Burkdale Village in Huntersville. Blankets and chairs are welcome for both Austin Bohannon shows. The Kane Center for the Arts welcomes Philip Hamrick on Friday for his album release celebration. The singer-songwriter from Mooresville releases his first solo album as an independent artist with The Tunnel Club. Hamrick's personal stories are delivered through vocals and acoustics. Doors open at 7 p.m. with Hamrick's The Tunnel Club album release celebration at 8 p.m. on Friday. For tickets, more information on this show and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's C-A-I arts.org. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks has expanded to Broad Street and Main Street, and this Saturday serves up gourmet fare. Bring chairs, bring friends, and delight in over 15 food trucks from around the area. Listen to live music from Billy Jones in the Pocket, stroll the streets, and shop. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks begins at 5 p.m. on Saturday. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series is back at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The first practice night is on Tuesday, June 4th, with the 10-week series opening night race on June 10th. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Community Centered continues now. Here are your hosts, Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back. We are having a wonderful show. Missing Maureen, but Debbie and I have always wanted the opportunity to interview each other, and we've had some fun doing it.
Sure, absolutely.
I think in this half hour, we'd love to take a phone call. If you would like to call in, we will let you know what we are looking for, what our needs are, how to get a hold of us, and if you should desire to be a guest, have a nonprofit, or something in the community that's helping the community, please let us know that as well. So, what are some of the things that you might be looking for that would help in your home? Hope House.
So at Hope House now, I would say the standard answer is we love when people drop by with fresh baked cookies or brownies. We have a neighbor in the neighborhood, Miss Connie Anderson, who brings the most amazing brownies that have about a 3-inch layer of fudge on top of them. And that just says to me, you were thinking of us, right? So, fresh fruit, the kids love.
Did you ever get those banana sandwiches?
No.
You better call them.
I'm going to have to. Thank you for reminding me. I never did get those banana sandwiches. But fresh fruit, now that your gardens are in bloom, we love when people, and we don't have to be there. You can just leave them by the back door. We have a little black rolling cart. We do have a donation bin by our garage that if you have very gently used clothes, you can drop them off, not men clothes, but children or women's.
I've got to do that again.
That would be lovely. Always laundry detergent is something that I think they drink it, for heaven's sakes. We go through it so quickly. Paper towel, toilet papers, those are all things that, if you get to buy one, get one free or something, feel free. And you're like, this is way too much, or Costco has loaded me down with 47 rolls of toilet paper. We're more than happy to take that off your hands. We love when folks want to come and just hang out. Tuesdays and Thursday nights are our empowerment classes. So we love babysitters. It's 1 hour from 7 to 8, especially teenagers who are looking for a little summer fun. We could always use them to watch our kids. And, now with daylight savings time, we can be outside blowing bubbles, riding bikes, running, kicking a soccer ball, all the things that me, because we have no babysitters tonight, will be doing tonight. So if you'd like to watch the show, feel free to stop by and you'll see Miss Debbie and Jen.
Now tell us where you are.
We're at 15604 North Cross Drive in Huntersville. That is the actual physical location of our 4,000 square foot 7-bedroom home that sleeps 14. The 3 cottages, Faith, Joy, and Grace, are located on that property. We own another home in Davidson, and we are under construction. So I have my GC helmet on 2 beautiful, beautiful 1,300 square foot homes that eventually I'm going to put a cry out for any donated furniture.
Yes.
If you're looking to offload it, gently used, not anything that you wouldn't think was respectful and lovely. We would probably graciously accept that and take that off your hands. So that is going to be happening soon. Siding is going up this week, and that means we are moving right along in that build process. And those are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes that will afford someone the opportunity to stay in it for 2 years, to learn how to be a single-family homeowner and to create a budget that's livable and to have a financial plan that we call workable.
What a gift.
Yeah, I know.
What a
Super
gift.
exciting. And that's the community that's come alongside of us and blessed us with that. When our community shows up, they show up.
And how do they get a hold of you?
So they can always call the house at 704-992-1902. I would give out my personal cell phone number, but that's...
just give us the number again, one more time.
704-992-1902. And I want our listeners to know that if you see someone that you believe is homeless, you can always have them call 211. It's a United Way number that connects folks to the resources they might need out there. I am not an emergency shelter. I can't accommodate someone who just shows up at the back door like last week.
Yeah.
We had a mom with a couple of kids in a stroller pulling a wagon full of her worldly goods, and we don't have space available. Our families are there in the crisis home for 6 to 9 months, and we don't always have an opening.
Okay.
So there you have it. Margi, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, if they want to email me, it's mkyle@littlesmiles.org.
Is that Kyle with a Y?
Kyle. Yeah, mkyle@littlesmiles.org.
Okay.
Is probably the best way.
Okay.
We are always looking for Legos. I think never have enough Legos. Blankets with characters on them for the kids, because we give those to all the operations we work with, and we're working with about 11.
Oh, wow.
So that when that child first comes in, they get a little bag with goodies, some snacks, and a blanket, something to hold on to.
Lovely.
Always need dolls and whatever. We have a huge storage unit, as you know, and we open it up to the nurses 24/7. So they can go up and stock what they feel their kids like, so that when a child does come into the hospital, they can immediately give them a coloring book, some crayons, a toy.
Now, are you working with the new hospital at Novant?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How amazing has that been?
Yeah, they come and we do bags together, and she keeps them so that if a child does come into the emergency, even if the child comes with siblings, the siblings get a bag too.
That's so assuring.
Because it's just as hard on them.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
If not harder.
Well, you've been there.
And
And sometimes it's a very lonely time for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where do you see the direction of Little Smiles going?
Just hoping to increase our bank account so that there's never a child in need that we know about. If there is, then I usually put it out there on Facebook, and people in this community are amazing.
Was Florida where the first little...
Yes.
Okay.
We have 2 chapters in Florida, one in Philadelphia, one in New York, and then I started 13 years ago, the one in North Carolina.
Okay. I'm surprised there isn't more like on the West Coast too.
Yeah.
I would think.
It takes a lot to start it.
Absolutely.
And I think my daughter wants to start one in New Hampshire when she works at a children's hospital. She's an occupational therapist.
Okay.
She really has seen the value of it now that her youngest is married and the oldest is about to be.
There you go. She's probably looking for another outside. You know, I don't think people understand how much time and energy it takes.
In the beginning, it does.
To run a nonprofit. And, you know, I know you're bare budget and I'm bare budget too, bare staff. People are always like, oh, how many people run this organization? It's like,
Well, we only have one person in Florida that's paid.
oh, wow. Okay.
So we're all volunteers.
I know I had a technical issue in my office this morning, and my husband has an office across the way, and I had to call him in to help me fix something. He said, I'll send you the bill for my technical services. So I use everybody and anybody that I can.
Yes, we do too.
To offer their services. But if there's someone listening that, you know, has some time on their hands and would love to help Margie out with social media or, you know, internet stuff, same thing with me. Someone that says, hey, you know, I'm interested in serving on a board. I want to know more. I want to help raise money, or I want to help fundraise or something like that. Give us a call. You can call here at the studio, or you could, you know, we left our contact information. We'd love to hear you. We have volunteers all the time at Hope House. They're either outside gardening or painting inside, or if someone moves in, we need someone to flip the rooms, we call it, like flippers, remaking the beds and, you know, adding a different style to the home is always helpful. And there's always something we can find for you to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We had a mom last week who said, well, what about my kids? Can they help? And I said, you know what? Do they ride bikes? If they could get on some of the bikes at Hope House and show our kids how to ride bikes.
Yes.
Because that's a luxury for a child who's been living in transition. They've never learned how to ride a bike, or outside feels very unfamiliar to them because they've not really had that experience. I remember we had an 11-year-old in not too long ago, and I asked him how his first few days were going at Hope House, and he said, well, I didn't step over anybody who OD'd in the hallway, but I did find a frog last night. Can I keep it? I said, by all means, keep the frog. But I mean, we don't really understand the life in which they live or where they've come from.
Yeah.
And so trying to replicate and have those normal, air quotes around it, experiences is what we're all about. So if you feel you can scoop up serve some normal, we would generously accept your normal for sure.
Yes.
But that's what it takes.
Well, I love what you do.
Thanks. I do too. I'm blessed to do it. I'm blessed to have a family that allows me to do it.
Yes.
I'm blessed to my daughter living in the DC area. She helps. She does a lot of our social media and fundraising and donor box stuff. So she has all that technical stuff. And, you know, she was my first person I called when I had my technology issue. And she said, isn't Dad home? Isn't he right across the way? You could ask him. Listen, folks, I don't have time for that. My brain works way too quickly on trying to solve crisis after crisis after crisis.
That's
so
right.
Those kind of things, if you have the patience and you can tolerate an old girl like me who is fondly recalling her rotary dial phone, as Margie talked about this morning. I mean, this earlier today, we definitely could use your help with technology.
Yes. And cash is always king.
That's right. That's right. You can always visit our website, www.hopehousefoundation.org. We have a lovely video on there that lets people know who is it that lives at Hope House? Because that always seems to be the greatest question. Who is a homeless person in our community? And you'll be surprised at what you'll see.
With the time we have left, if you're looking to help make a difference in this community, please look at Hope House or littlesmilesnc.org, because we are making a difference.
Absolutely.
One family at a time.
Well, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
I'm delighted that I got to have a little bit of the birthday fallout with you a few days previous to that. And it was great spending time with you today.
It was. Now go get that banana sandwich.
You bet.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.